Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Heather and today I'm so excited to share this video with you because we are going to be talking about shoes. Who doesn't need a good pair of shoes to go with all these outfits we're making in our sewing room? And let me tell you, over the last several years, because I basically live in this room, I'm mostly in tennis shoes and heels are just not working for me the same way. I get uncomfortable really quickly. So I know a lot of you can relate and I have been looking for a good fashionable shoe that is still comfortable. And that is what brings me to Cosy Island. So Cosy Island reached out to me and I checked out their website, checked out their shoes, and there were so many that I absolutely loved. And I thought, you know, what would be fun would be to create an outfit inspired by these lovely shoes. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about the shoes and then creating an outfit to go with one of these pairs. So talking a little bit more about the brand, when I went over to their website, I was immediately impressed because I thought everything just looked very polished, very professional. You know, there's always something with a good brand presentation that draws you in. And then on top of it, the shoes were absolutely beautiful. And they are known for being comfortable. That is one of the hallmarks of this brand, is not compromising your comfort. So definitely was a win for me. I started going through all of the different shoes and I just didn't even know where to start. It was so hard to even decide what I wanted to try.
So just to briefly check out the website, you can see how beautiful the presentation is. They're getting ready for fall and there are all sorts of great categories from heels, boots, sandals, occasion, sale, etc. There are even some bags hiding out on the website. And when you go over to the About Me section, you're going to start to see a little bit about that whole comfort without compromise story. That is, like I said, sort of the hallmark for the brand, which is really what drew me to them right off the bat. And I loved how stylish the shoes were. You're also going to see a section about the 360-degree snug fit, the very comfortable material they use, and also the arch support and the insoles that are part of the heel, which are going to help make it super, super comfortable so that, again, you have the comfort without the compromise. Another really cool feature is that they do use recycled materials, so I love that. I love the low waist. Like, that is always just such a great addition to a brand. And then just flipping through the website, again, you're going to see how beautiful and varied the different shoe options are. I mean, it took me a minute to get my bearings and even decide what I wanted to try because there were so many that I could see myself wearing.
All right, so here is one of the lovely boxes. I really like the logo, the clean design. Very much seems to speak to the aesthetic on the website as well. So it feels very elegant. Really like that. And I've just been really anxious to get into these since I chose my two pair. I do know which pair I'm going to be making an outfit for, although I had ideas for both, so it was really hard to decide which, but let's go ahead and take a look at these shoes. All right, so opening up the box, there is an insole right here. So very much appreciate that. That is going to make it cozy and comfortable.
And here is this first beautiful shoe out of the box. I love, again, that stretchy material that makes it super comfortable down around the toe, and the cream and the camel colors are just so beautiful together, especially for fall coming up. The base has a nice sort of non-slip surface, so you're not going to slip and slide around, as well as a wider point on the heel. And then obviously you've got this ankle strap that adds some extra stability. On the inside, they have these little insoles that go right into the toe, so it helps really cushion and give you that extra bit of comfort. And all in all, I just think they're a very elegant looking shoe. Again, love the color palette, love this for fall.
All right, so the next pair I selected are these right here. Look at how cute. I love this teal accent. Again, lots of color variations, and I had a really hard time choosing, but I just kept coming to this striking teal against black sort of fashion moment. I did think I would originally make an outfit around these, but I decided to go with the sort of camel and cream for the fall, but I might have to make something around these eventually anyway because they're just that fabulous. Also love too, there's some great arch support in here, and they have lots of different heel heights, so you don't have to go with the highest, you don't have to go with the lowest. There's just something kind of for everybody, which is great. And the sling back here is going to keep it very secure on your foot, which I also like because that's another thing. Sometimes in heels, if they don't fit just right, then you can end up in trouble. So really, really appreciate that feature about these shoes. All right, so now that we've talked about these shoes a little bit, I can't wait to share with you what I'm planning to make for the camel colored and cream heel. I'm going to do a monochromatic look and I'm going to make Know Me 2016. This little dress has been quite popular in the sewing community. It's been one on my list for a while. And I had this idea that I wanted to do an ombre on the dress. So I have this dark taupey poplin for the top of the dress. I have this light beige for the center panel, the first panel of the skirt. and then I have a cream to match the shoe. Now, the beigey part of the shoe is more of a camel, which doesn't match this, but I was thinking if I do that on the heel and then grab a little handbag that matches, it's going to give us another color that kind of fits into this palette. So I'm really excited to get started on this. I did already cut all the pieces out, so let's make a dress to show off these beautiful shoes.
All right, here are all of my pattern pieces all cut and ready to go. I'm sure it's going to have me start with this bodice piece here, which is going to be in the darker shade of sort of a brownie taupe color. And I can't wait to see this come together, so let's get going. All right, y'all, so it is several days later, and I just sort of hit a stopping point with my project and was reevaluating. I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but it is just not looking how I envisioned it to look. I will continue the project, but it's not giving what I wanted it to give for these beautiful shoes. So I've completely changed directions and have a new plan, and I have everything cut out and ready to go. They are two pretty quick projects, I think. So hopefully this won't actually take us that long to do. And then I have a coat that I made last fall time to go over it that I think is going to top off the look. So let me show you what the table's looking like now. All right, so I've got the Patterns for Pirates Sophia pencil skirt as the bottom piece here. And I found this really pretty kind of cream colored wool with this texture. I'm really excited about it. And like I said, I think it's going to be fairly straightforward. It is fully lined, which I think especially this time of year will be really nice. So I think I'm going to start here. And then I have over here the Kiana Bonollo Designs turtleneck, mock turtleneck. So I'm going to be making a mock turtleneck in sort of a white. I'm going to be making this in a jersey. It's got a cotton elastane blend, I believe. So I'm going to tuck it into this skirt and then layer it with a camel colored coat that has kind of a cream striping through it. So I think it'll look really, really nice with those shoes and give me some versatile pieces for this season. So yeah, let's get started on the skirt first. So right now I'm basically marking and stitching darts, and then the front and back pieces will get sewn together, and I'm going to have to repeat the same steps for the lining. And it really is going to come together pretty quickly. And I am going to serge around all these raw edges before I stitch them together because the weave is so loose. And yeah, let's get going. All right, there it is. All the back pieces, the front pieces attached, all the darts are in. Now it's going to be time to add a zipper, I think, and repeat all of these steps for the lining. All right, y'all, so I have my lining skirt pieces done, all the darts in, attached at the side seams, same with the main part of the skirt. I also have the waistband pieces attached, which is only for the inside because I'm doing one that doesn't have an outer waistband, so it will be more like a facing, I think. This pattern has a lot of really cool options, so I love that about it because I wanted something just a little more smooth and I didn't want that additional bulk of the waistband with this wool. So next I think is to attach the waistband for the lining, which is the only waistband, to this, and then we start attaching things together, putting our zip in. I've been really behind because of changing gears and my schedule, so I'm really trying to crank at least this skirt out, if not possibly this top tonight as well. So we're gonna get on it, get this waistband attached, and try to get this done. All right, so I just attached the lining and the waistband to the top of the main fabric here. So I think we're about to insert a zip. We basically have the zip left. We have the slit, and then maybe just kind of tacking down the lining in certain places. So yeah, we're almost done. I just really love this fabric. I'm excited to be able to wear this. So almost on to our top. All right, it's a new day. I was not able to get everything done last night. I just got too late of a start. And actually this skirt, it's not that it's hard, but it's definitely been different than I expected. I've never made a mini skirt where the directions are quite like this and there's a lot of flipping in and out. I think it'll probably have a pretty nice finish when it's done, but it's had a lot more steps than most, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm kind of at this weird point where I have the lining attached to the waistband, and now I have stitched the bottom right sides together and the slit right sides together. And now I think what's happening is they're having you pull part of the skirt through each side and then stitching part of that together and leaving an opening for the zipper. And I think what's going to happen, we'll see, is that part of it'll get stitched, you'll leave the part for the zip, and then probably turn it inside out, or right side out technically, and then finish off the zipper. And then that will create like a nice finish to this slit and hem and everything. There won't like be any hemming. It will just be already done from stitching across the bottom is what I'm thinking. So yeah, we're gonna see how this is gonna come together here, but hopefully we only have a couple more steps on this because I know that the mock turtleneck will go really quick. So it's getting really messy in the sewing room. So I wanna get some things cleared off the counter. So let's go ahead and finish this up. All right, so I've basically pulled one side of the skirt through the other, and now I am aligning main to main fabric, lining to lining in sort of a circle, and stitching from the bottom point of where the zipper will go to the bottom point of where the zipper will go. And then I think we start inserting it after that. So yeah, right now I'm just going to kind of stitch around a loop here and stop, and then we're on to a zip. And I'm really happy because I think it's an exposed zip. And I have this metal zipper here. I went ahead and basted the top down for when I put it in. But I think this will look a lot nicer than a traditional zipper. You know, just having this metal will give it a purpose. So yeah, let's go. All right, so this has taken a minute to get this pinned because this zipper gets sandwiched between the lining and the skirt, but we are ready to go. This is technically the last step, although she did mention you can choose to top stitch the hem of the skirt. And while it's not necessary, I do think because of having this thicker material, it's gonna flatten it down a little bit at the bottom. So I do think I'm gonna take that step and maybe even do it through the slit to keep things nice and flat. So we are almost done, which I'm so excited because we really need to move on to the top, but it's looking really nice. So let's get this zipper stitched in. All right, y'all, we've lost one in the fight. You can see the broken needle there. I think I forgot to switch back to my thicker needle. Whoops. So we're gonna swap these out, try that again. I've got a lot of thicknesses with getting that zipper on there and everything, and I was going really slow, but still broke it. So let's try this again. Right, here is my zip all installed. It is not my best I've ever done. The inside is quite sloppy and I would fix it, but honestly, I don't care because nobody's going to see it. So I'm just going to leave it. I like how it looks fine from the outside. And because this is very thick fabric, even where it's a little imperfect, you can't really tell. So I am totally okay with it. This is just sort of this season sort of a skirt. And I think it overall looks really good. So now I'm going to go back and just sort of finish off this edge, I think, and the slit, and she is done. All right, the skirt is done. I have top stitched along the edge and the slit, so it's going to keep it open. So it's definitely some drama at the leg here. But look at how cute the shoes look with this skirt. They are perfect for each other. So I mean, this color is almost identical, and I like how the texture kind of picks up the texture of the skirt. So I think this was the right choice to switch gears. And now we're going to move on to the top. All right, I'm getting ready to start this turtleneck, and I'm debating if I want to use a twin needle for the hem or even hem it at all because it is a turtleneck I plan to tuck in. And since we have a nice jersey, technically I wouldn't have to Maybe I still will. I'm sort of deciding, but I just sort of ran through a girl's video, and this pattern calls for you to set the sleeve in, but she just did the seams at the shoulder and put the neck in and then attach the sleeve with it open so she could just sew down the side seam. And I'm thinking that's a really good idea. So I think I'm going to do that. I actually don't even think I need instructions for this pattern. It really is a super simple, straightforward pattern. So I'm just going to gather some supplies, get my walking foot put on and all of that good stuff, and get going. All right, so I've got everything set up. Isn't it the best feeling when your serger thread color stays the same? I didn't have to thread the serger. I've got the back piece here. I am going to just sew at the shoulder seams and then put the neck in. And yeah, this should be a really quick sew, so let's do it. Definitely today years old when I realized that my serger had a thread cutter on the side, so it's gonna make my life a lot easier. I just sewed the neckband together so that we can now fold it down and attach it to the top of the turtleneck, so that's what's next. All right, our neckband is on, so it's time to add those sleeves and sew up the side seams, and then we just have to hem. So yeah, this is such a nice, quick, little easy make. All right, so there it is in the back. It's basically done. I have not hemmed the sleeve or the waist of the turtleneck yet, but you don't have to really. So I'm gonna kind of just decide later if I want to do that or not. But for now, hopefully you'll see the vision. I think they're gonna look so cute with the shoe. This isn't on a body, so I think it is gonna look a lot different once I get it on. I think it's gonna be really, really cute. The little jacket is a piece I made last year that I thought would be perfect to tie in the camel color of the heel. And tomorrow we're gonna take it out for a spin, put those heels on, see how comfy they are walking around during the day, but let me show you this on the form. So there is our star of the show. If you pan up, here is our skirt, our mock turtleneck, and our little jacket slash coat here. I do think I'll add some gold jewelry to really just pop the whole thing off, but I think this is going to be the perfect little look for fall. So yeah, I'm gonna jump ahead. It's gonna be tomorrow and we're gonna try it on. So because we are going into the lovely fall season and that was the inspiration for these shoes and this look, of course I had to go somewhere with pumpkins. I did walk around in these shoes quite a bit over several days and they are very comfortable. Having that wider base on the heel really does help stabilize you. Not to mention you've got the arch support and the insoles in the toe of the shoe, which is really, really helpful as well. I am really happy how this whole look came together. I love that the texture and the color of the skirt kind of mimics the texture and color on that meshy, comfortable part of the shoe. I really think it worked out perfectly, and I like how versatile everything is for different times of the year. The shoes can definitely be put with jeans. They can be put, you know, with like a jumpsuit. They can be put with different skirts. You could really use these heels with so many different looks, both casual and dressy, but still have that comfort. So I was really happy about that. And of course, I had a really good time going somewhere fall inspired to put it all together. And here's one final look at this beautiful pair of shoes. So for this teal and black pair of heels here, I think my favorite feature aside from how comfortable they are is this sling back, because it's super stretchy and you slip it right on and can go, which is always super nice, and they're very secure again, no issues walking. I did decide to pair this with a black blazer and jumpsuit. I wanted something really sleek that would just allow that beautiful teal color, which was my favorite aesthetic part of the shoe, to be the star here. I think if I end up sewing an outfit for these in mind, I might do a black dress of some sort with some piping, either in a coordinating teal or in an accent like a pink. I had such a hard time when I was choosing the color wave because they had a bold, you know, shoe like this, and then they had some that were more subtle, but all were really beautiful. And I think having that little accent color along the foot is just a great detail. So in this final shot here, you're gonna see some beautiful blooms and these lovely shoes. So even though they're about to go out of season for the year, I look forward to wearing these beautiful heels all year long.
All right, so I hope that you enjoyed coming along and checking out some beautiful heels with me, as well as joining me for a little mini sewing vlog, coming up with a look inspired by one of these beautiful pairs of shoes. I'm really looking forward to doing something for the second pair as well, because I've had so many ideas running through my mind. So if you want to check that out when the time comes, I will post to my Instagram. I'll leave that link down in the description box below. Huge thank you to Cosy Island for thinking of me for this, because I cannot express how much of a need that this fit into my wardrobe, which is having heels that are comfortable enough to wear for long periods of time. Because there are so many times I do want to dress up or go somewhere and I end up throwing flat tennis shoes in a bag because I know I'm not going to be able to wear the heels that I have for very long, and this solves that problem for me. So I will be wearing both of these pairs often when I get dressed up. So thank you. I absolutely love them. I also will leave any links, codes, etc., direct links to the shoes, the website for you to go peruse. They have so many options, so definitely go check them out. Thank you again to Cosy Island. And if you are new to the channel, I do a lot of sewing and fashion related content. So if you enjoy that type of content, definitely consider coming along and hitting the subscribe button and giving this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.